All right, so over on Google Classroom, you should have a new assignment. Yeah, it's called Magna Carta. So go ahead and scroll down to Social Studies. So the new assignment is called Magna Carta. There is a set of Google Slides, and there is a PDF that goes with it. So let's go ahead and open up the Google Slides and the PDF, please. I'll give you guys about 1 minute to get everything opened up. So let's get. Okay, we'll get there. So get it open first, and then we'll talk about the specifics. I don't know. We'll see. All right, looks like a lot of you guys are getting there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, so for this one, let's go ahead and get zoomed in. Yoshi said that 50 is good. It is very good. So we are going to be reading something called the Magna Carta, which was a document of laws, basically. So this is the medieval times and kind of the laws and things that came from that time period. So on the left over here, it says there are 4 major principles that emerge from the Magna Carta. In each box, explain what the principle means in your own words, and then create a picture. I don't want to create. We'll find a. I don't know. Well, we might just write something. I don't know. We'll see. Create a picture that shows this principle in action. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But the background information at the top here says, the signing of the Magna Carta was an essential step in the development of constitutional government in England. The Magna Carta's guarantees of legal and political rights also founded the basis of government in the English colonies. So basically, this is the government that was formed. The Magna Carta is kind of like our constitution, our Declaration of Independence that gives the laws that we as as citizens have to follow, right? Or it's not even the laws that we have to follow. It's more of the rights that we get as Americans. So the First Amendment is the right to assemble. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. There's a right to a speedy trial. There's a right. So it's basically if you get accused of something, these are your rights. So this is kind of the concept of what theirs is too. The laws you have to follow, but the rights that you also get. So if you get in trouble, you have specific things that you are still allowed, even if you are in trouble. It's not still warm. It has been 5 hours since they were delivered. They are not warm. It's breakfast. So, all right, so what we're going to do is read the PDF. It comes in little sections. There's only 4 sections here. We'll start with the top one that talks about limited government. We'll discuss what that means, and we'll fill out some of the boxes, okay? So, first one, in a limited government, the powers of government are restricted by a written constitution. Prior to the Magna Carta, which is the document, kings would rule under the idea of divine right. The divine right theory stated that God chooses the king. This theory and the idea of limited government are the exact opposite. If God chose the king, then the king is all powerful, since anything the king does is viewed as allowed by God. However, in a limited government, leaders are accountable to the people since the government's powers are explicitly written down. That was a lot of big words, right? basically that means that it used to be that kings, basically whatever they said goes because God gave them the power to do that, right? Yoshi?
So, like, you said the government or something?
We are talking about government, yes.
So does the king, do they just write down, like, what the government is supposed to do?
They used to, yes. Before the Magna Carta came around, this document that they all signed, the kings were able to like say whatever they wanted and make any law that they wanted because they could say that God told them to do it. Now, with the idea of the limited government, it means that there are people that check to make sure that the king's not getting too powerful. So people will check to make sure that the king is not too powerful, and the king will check to make sure that the people that are part of the government aren't too powerful either. So it keeps their power pretty even so that there's not one ruler over the top of someone else. Does that make a little bit of sense? So over on our thing, in your own words, you're going to need to make a text box where that red text box is. In your own words, you need to describe what limited government means. And I just talked about it a little bit. So do your best. What does it mean to have a limited government? Write it down. I don't want to hear your answers. Write it down on your own. What does it mean to have a limited government? In the first box. I'm making my writing a little bit bigger for you guys to be able to see it. So answer this question. It doesn't really need to be a complete sentence. I just need you to answer the question, please. I'll give you about 2 minutes. It's on the thing.
And then, it gets kind of soft. That's what I do a lot more.
We're gonna skip that. Yeah, so after you fill out the red box, the one that says in action, I'm just gonna make a text box and say skip. We're not gonna do that. I don't really know exactly what I want right there, so but a picture of what is what I mean. So we are gonna skip all of those ones. So I'm gonna copy and paste this text box and just put it on all of them. I can't get it to copy.
You just have to copy and paste the words.
No, the text box isn't there on all of them.
They're not on any of them.
There we go. Now, there we go. Copy. Paste. So I'm just gonna in the action spot put skip on all of those because I don't even really know what it's asking for. So we're just gonna. Yeah, but we are gonna fill out the red box in all of them, right? What does it mean in your own words? Okay, let's read the second one. So the next one is the rule of law. So you guys, I'm going to read this one. We'll talk about it a little bit, and then you're going to need to describe what it is in your own words. So this next one. The rule of law states that all people in society are subject to the law. The law applies to all people evenly, and nobody is above the law.
So nobody gets treated different?
Right. No matter what your income, your race, or your profession, everyone must follow the law and everyone must bear the consequences if they choose to break it. That's how it is now, yes. This idea, well, for the most part, this idea was nothing new to the people of the Middle Ages. The ancient Greek Aristotle wrote that law should govern the people, not a superior ruler or his judgment or lack thereof. Before the Magna Carta, the rule of law did not apply to the king, as he regularly abused his powers, seized private property, and imprisoned those who disagreed with him. The Magna Carta established a new precedent for government that nobody is above the law. So that's how it is supposed to be in the United States as well. I would venture to say that people that are very rich or very powerful still can get away with things. Kind of, yeah. But what did you say?
No, he said like Tom Brady. I said they paid the cost, and then he's all like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady didn't do anything illegal that I know of. So
He did in football. He flattened the
didn't he have to pay for it though?
Wait, huh?
Anyway, we can talk about that after, not right now. But essentially, it just means that nobody can get away with breaking the law. Everybody will be in trouble if they break the law. So I'd like you guys to go over, and in the part that says rule of law, what does that mean? Back then, they might have been executed, yeah. What does rule of law mean? That's what you're answering in that one. Yes.
Wait, so we just kind of have to describe it?
Yeah, describe what that means. What did I just talk about?
If they have like a right-hand man or somebody working for the king, if they betray them, they mostly get executed for that.
Yeah.
Or mostly their heads chopped off.
What happened? I said I used my right hand. I don't get it. He's not a man. He's not a man with the right hand.
Okay, be writing those in your own words. You got about 2 minutes to make sure that those top two are done, please. Okay, then just hold tight.
Your hand's sticky. I mean,
Alrighty. Ready for the next one? Okay, down below, individual rights. I will read this one, we'll discuss a little bit, and then you guys will, in your own words, describe what it means. So, individual rights is the third one down. It says, even though it was not until 1689 when English philosopher John Locke wrote about individual rights, the first idea appears in the Magna Carta over 400 years earlier. Locke said that human beings are born with rights that are inalienable, which means that they cannot be taken away. He also called these natural rights, since they are given to humans naturally upon birth. Locke said that all people have 3 natural rights: life, liberty, and the right to own property. Since government does not grant these rights, Locke argued that the government cannot take them away. So, individual rights is basically like you as a person have rights. You have the right to your life, you have the right to your freedom, and you have the right to own your own property, right? So having individual rights means that you are a human. You have rights.
You are human.
Yeah. So go ahead and please fill out that next box. What does it mean to have individual rights? I just said it. Yes. And that's exactly what it means. That's more of like it's not an individual right, but that is what it means. When they say you have the right to remain silent, they mean that you don't have to talk. You don't have to say anything that's going to make you look guilty. You don't have to say a word to the police officer. But you know, that's exactly it. Anything that you say, if like let's say you get arrested for burglary, like right, like you steal something. I don't have to talk and explain these things if you're just gonna talk over me. That's fine. I was gonna explain something to you guys, but you know, that's fine. I'll just sit here and let you guys work on that instead. Okay, about one more minute to describe what it means to have individual rights. All right. Last one, shared power, and then we'll do the other two slides. Shared power. I will read them in a minute. I don't know. I haven't looked at them. Shared power. Let's read it. It says, it's the very last one on the bottom. Like other principles of the Magna Carta, the idea of shared power was revolutionary, which means new. This states Oy. We're good? Ready? Okay. I'm going to restart reading that. Here we go. Like the other principles of the Magna Carta, the idea of shared power was revolutionary or new. This states that the power to make decisions must fall into the hands of two or more groups. No longer can a king have complete decision-making power, but instead must have the decisions approved by other people. In England, this group is called the Parliament. In the United States, it's the Congress, the Supreme Court, and the President, who have a check and balance system where no group has complete power. Judges, yeah. So basically that means that, like, so let's use it in context of the United States because we know how the United States look, right? We have the president, correct? Underneath him, we have, let me talk. Stop cutting me off. We have the president at the top. Underneath him, we have the Congress, which is the Senate and the House of Representatives, which is made up in total of, I think, like 535 people. If the president wants to pass a law, Congress has to approve that law. If Congress wants to pass a law, the president has to approve it as well. So they basically have to check to make sure that these laws aren't going against our rights as human beings before they pass the laws. So shared power means that the power is shared among people so that not one person gets too powerful. That's how dictatorship comes around, right? Being a dictator means that you just run the country, you're the only person in charge, everybody bows down to you. Like Hitler. Hitler was a dictator. Yeah, if the president wants to make a law, Congress has to approve of it first. Yeah. So go ahead and head over to the slides, and I need you guys to tell me, what does it mean to have shared power?
Oh, I know how
So all of Congress, of all those people that are in Congress, have to approve of it?
Not everybody, just the majority. Over half of them.
Majority doesn't do it, then they. Yeah.
So yeah, in our United States system, over half of the Congress has to approve of a law. If the other half doesn't agree, but it still gets passed, like majority of the people agree, then it's a law. So that's how it is with a lot of laws, actually, because we have a two-party system, right? We have Democrats and Republicans that don't agree on a lot of things, and it's very, very close. I think in Congress, in the House of Representatives, there are, or maybe the Senate, there's 100 senators total. There's 2 for each state, right? There's 50 states, 2 senators per state. I want to say that there are 48 of them are Republican and 52 are Democratic. It's the 2 different beliefs in the United States, basically, of how the government should be run. But because it's so close, the majority switches all the time, which is why a lot of people either agree or don't agree with the laws that have been passed in the past 7 or 8 years, I would say. We don't have a great political system right now. There's a lot of controversy with it. Makes a lot of people mad. Me included, I'm not gonna lie. I get really mad about politics.
You sure?
Yeah. Politics are laws and how people treat other people in terms of laws. The president is a political figure.
Who, Joe Biden?
Yeah. Donald Trump is not the president anymore. Oh my, it's been a solid 5 months since he has been president, so no, he is not president anymore. Donald Trump left the office on January 20th, so 4.5 months, yeah.
Oh, dang. It doesn't feel like that long ago.
It does not feel like that long ago, no.
It's just like every second of that day.
All right then. So, hopefully you guys have written down what it means to have shared power. Let's go look at slide number 2. So basically, what we're going to do is read words that came directly from the Magna Carta. And we're going to talk about whether we think that it applies to the idea of limited government, the rule of law, individual rights, or shared power, and explain why. So we'll do the first 2 together, and then I'm going to let you guys finish the rest on your own. So the first part from the Magna Carta says, no free man shall be seized or imprisoned or stripped of his rights or possessions or outlawed or exiled or deprived of his standing in any other way, nor will we proceed with force against him or send others to do so except by the lawful. Skylar, stop, please. Stop. Distracting people. Or except by the lawful judgment of his equals by the law of the land. That's a lot of words right there that don't make a lot of sense, right?
Remember when Charlie said Charles means free man?
Yeah.
No Charles means free.
Yeah. So when it says no free man will be seized or imprisoned, that means that they can't arrest them or take away their rights by force. So is that limited government?
No.
No. Is it the rule of law?
Yeah.
Could be rule of law because nobody's above the law. What about individual rights? Are those his rights?
No. Yeah.
Could be his rights. What about shared power? No. So it's either rule of law or individual rights because it has to do with his rights. So in this case, we're not talking about this free man doing something wrong. We're just talking about the fact that his rights are not going to be taken away. So are those his individual rights or the rule of law? Nope. Individual rights. So what we do is we need to highlight it and make it red.
Make it rain red.
Well, no, you're just telling me that that's the one it is. Individual rights. Oh, then make it bold. I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, make it bold.
Then we just need to explain. This is in Skylar, throw it away, please. You're distracting me, and I don't like that. You're distracting a lot of people, so throw it away, please. Yeah, he can see you. Let's go. Throw it away, please. This is individual rights because I spelled that wrong. I'll make that. Oops. Well.
Wait, so you have to write this is individual right. I'm gonna spit up here. I can't see.
I'm gonna make it bigger. Hang on. So this is individual rights because the quote talks about the rights we cannot take away from people. Okay, so this is really talking about how we can't take away his rights, his possessions. We can't exile this person. We can't arrest him or send others to do so unless unless he has been accused of anything, right? It's right there. Okay. Good luck.
Make sure you win, Jackson. Win later.
How much percent do I have? Do you have? No, but I am more.
All right. Ready for the next one?
No.
No, not yet. Okay, 1 minute and then we'll do the next one. Okay, we're going to do one more together, and then I'm going to let you guys work on the rest on your own. The next one says, the rest of them. There's 2 on the next slide. You'll do 4 on your own. There's 2 at the bottom of this slide and 2 on the next slide. But the next one says that the English church shall be free from the king and shall have her rights entire, that the king and church shall be separate, and he shall not speak for God. So the king and the church are now not together, right? So God has not chosen who the king is. So is that, I'll give you the hint. Is it limited government or shared power?
Shared power.
No.
Limited government.
Yeah, obviously. It's limited government on this one because we talked about how limited government means that
Does it have to be red every time or can it be?
any color works.
I'm not wrong with that. So what would happen if they didn't make that thing like if God was choosing nowadays?
I don't know for sure.
Wait, can there be more than one answer?
Potentially, yeah.
Like, can there be like individual powers twice? Individual twice?
Yes, you can use the answers twice, yeah. So for this one, it's limited government though, because limited government means that the king is not all powerful because God told him that he is all powerful anymore. Limited government means that they choose a king based on the ability to be a king and not because God said that they were going to be the king, right? So limited government, this, I'll make it bigger in a second. This is limited government because God does not choose the king anymore. Okay, I'll make that bigger for you guys.
You know they make the priests clean now.
Okay, there's that one.
I said priest, not priest. No.
Okay.
Never mind.
Real quick, let me just explain the rest of what you need to do and I'm gonna let you work on it. There are 2 more on this slide. The first one's about the sheriff not being able to take horses. The next one is about, what is a scuddage? I'm gonna Google it. I don't know what that is.
What's this? Scottish.
A medieval tax. So a scuddage is a tax. You cannot tax people.
Can you copy and paste the answer from the previous,
Sure.
question?
Yeah. So the next one is that no taxes will be imposed on the kingdom. Is that government or shared power, rule of law. So you'll do those two. On the next slide, there are two more. No village or individual shall be compelled to make bridges at riverbanks. Interesting. The next one, all merchants shall have safe and secure exit from England and entry to England. So, you guys have 4 more to do. Finish those up and you can get it turned in. And that is your social studies assignment for today.